Hollywood's biggest stars didn't just light up the screen, they set their private lives on fire. Whether it was Marlene Dietrich's unapologetic romances or Elizabeth Taylor's 8 trips down the aisle, these legends lived for passion, drama, and seduction. Let's dive into the steamy secrets of 27 stars who made love a headline act. Tallulah Bankhead. Did you know Tallulah Bankhead admitted to having more than 500 lovers, both men and women, throughout her lifetime? Bankhead was a unique and unforgettable sex symbol, celebrated for her beauty, rebellious spirit, and a razor-sharp wit. She lived unapologetically, breaking societal norms and speaking her mind, even if it meant stirring controversy. Her sultry, sensual voice mirrored her passionate appetites, which were as legendary as her acting talent. Among her many lovers, actor John Emery stood out. The two met during a summer theater circuit and married with remarkable nonchalance. Emery, attractive and good-natured, bore a resemblance to the famed John Barrymore. Years earlier, Barrymore had privately revealed himself to Bankhead, leaving such an impression that she joked she'd never sleep with anyone who didn't measure up to him. True to her flamboyant nature, Bankhead often entertained guests with outrageous antics. At one party, she pulled back the covers from Emery's bed and proudly exclaimed, "Did you ever see a prick as big as that before?" Such stories only solidified her reputation for fearless audacity and uninhibited charm. Tallulah Bankhead's charisma, talent, and unapologetic embrace of her attribution made her a true Hollywood legend. She lived life on her own terms, leaving a legacy as bold and vibrant as she was. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was one of Hollywood's most infamous bad boys, celebrated for his dashing good looks and swashbuckling roles like Robin Hood. But behind the scenes, Flynn's life was a whirlwind of debauchery. His appetite for alcohol, women, and scandal seemed limitless. He was notorious for pursuing countless women, including underage girls, leading to multiple statutory rape charges in the 1940s. Despite grim evidence, Flynn's charm and clever lawyers got him acquitted. Flynn's lifestyle was a mix of reckless indulgence and unapologetic arrogance. He was expelled from school for an affair with a laundress, an early sign of his rebellious ways. His Hollywood career brought fame but also amplified his wild behavior. Flynn was known to throw lavish, booze-filled parties at his home, where anything went. He enjoyed flings with his co-stars and random admirers alike, making headlines for his affairs. Even in decline, Flynn's reputation remained untarnished by his legal troubles and health issues caused by years of excess. His motto seemed to be, "Live fast, die hard," and he did just that. Hepatitis and liver failure caught up with him at age 50, cementing his legacy as one of Hollywood's most scandalous stars. Diana Dors. Diana Dors was more than a blonde bombshell. She was Britain's scandal queen. Known for her curvaceous looks and sultry appeal, Dors led a life as outrageous as her on-screen persona. She hosted legendary parties at her Berkshire mansion, where voyeurism was a staple. Guests secretly watched intimate acts transmitted from hidden cameras in the upstairs bedrooms. Dors thrived on the drama of her notoriety. She had 3 tumultuous marriages and numerous lovers, all of whom fueled her reputation for scandal. Despite starring in several low-budget films, Dors was more famous for her wild lifestyle than her acting career. Even as her star faded, Dors remained unapologetic. She embraced the gossip and intrigue that surrounded her, often encouraging it for fun. Though she died young at 52, her legacy as one of Hollywood's wildest and most provocative figures lives on. Gary Cooper. Gary Cooper was the epitome of Hollywood charm, known for his iconic roles in High Noon and Sergeant York. But off-screen, he was just as famous for seducing nearly every leading lady he worked with. Cooper's good looks and quiet charisma made him irresistible, and his affairs were legendary. One of his most scandalous relationships was with Marlene Dietrich, while dating fiery actress Lupe Velez. Velez's jealousy boiled over, leading her to accompany Cooper to set to keep an eye on him. In a dramatic twist, she even tried to shoot him in a fit of rage. Cooper's affair with Tallulah Bankhead was equally sensational, as she famously declared, "The only reason I went to Hollywood was to that divine Gary Cooper." Despite the scandals, Cooper's career remained untarnished. He continued to charm audiences and his co-stars until the end of his life. His legacy as both a screen icon and a notorious womanizer endures. Mae West. Did you know Mae West once said, "I used to be Snow White, but I drifted"? That cheeky humor sums up her unapologetic approach to life and love. West wasn't just a star, she was a phenomenon, blazing a trail for physical liberation in Hollywood. Known for her sultry looks, sharp wit, and double entendre, West embraced her fluidity like no one else in her time. Mae's relationships were as bold as her on-screen persona. She reportedly had affairs with a mix of co-stars, producers, and even bodybuilders. Her time with wrestler Gorilla Jones made headlines, proving she was attracted to larger-than-life personalities, much like herself. She famously declared that marriage wasn't her style because, as she put it, "A man's kiss is his signature, and I collect autographs." Beyond her personal escapades, Mae West wrote her own roles, challenging societal norms and breaking box office records. Her play Sex scandalized audiences but catapulted her to fame. When she was arrested for corrupting the morals of youth, she quipped, "I believe in censorship. I made a fortune out of it." Whether entertaining troops during World War II or shocking interviewers in her later years, Mae's vivacious charm and fearless attitude left an indelible mark on Hollywood and beyond. Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa Gabor didn't just live life, she sparkled through it. Known as the Queen of Glamour, she was married 9 times and famously quipped, "I am a marvelous housekeeper. Every time I leave a man, I keep his house." Zsa Zsa's life was a whirlwind of diamonds, scandals, and lovers, making her one of the most talked-about figures of her time. Her first husband, Turkish politician Burhan Asaf Belga, was the gateway to her social ascent, but it was her marriage to hotel magnate Conrad Hilton that really placed her in high society, though she claimed it was loveless. Gabor's candid admission that she had affairs even during her marriages raised eyebrows. She wasn't shy about naming names either, hinting at flings with Frank Sinatra and Richard Nixon. Zsa Zsa's legendary parties at her Beverly Hills mansion were the stuff of Hollywood folklore, where A-list guests mingled, sipped champagne, and whispered about her latest exploits. Her unapologetic flamboyance extended to her public altercations. The most infamous, when she slapped a Beverly Hills police officer during a traffic stop, leading to a trial where she delivered one-liners as sharp as her diamond rings. Zsa Zsa Gabor lived for the spotlight, her wit and beauty ensuring she never left it. Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney was more than a screen legend. He was a Hollywood Casanova with a love life as dramatic as his career. Married 8 times, he had a flair for whirlwind romances and passionate affairs. Rooney once joked, "Always get married early in the morning. That way, if it doesn't work out, you haven't wasted the whole day." His first marriage to Ava Gardner was a classic Hollywood tale. The union of the wholesome boy next door and the budding bombshell seemed like a fairy tale, until Rooney's infidelities ended it. He later admitted he was too immature to handle marriage, a sentiment echoed by his second wife, Betty Jane Reyes, who accused him of gambling and womanizing. Despite his repeated marital failures, Rooney's charm was undeniable. He was rumored to have affairs with stars like Lana Turner and Norma Shearer, and his off-screen exploits were almost as famous as his movies. Rooney's penchant for younger women led to several controversial relationships, and his personal life often overshadowed his professional achievements. Mickey Rooney's career spanned nearly 9 decades, but his romantic entanglements cemented his reputation as one of Hollywood's most fascinating and scandalous leading men. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando wasn't just a Hollywood icon, he was a force of nature, both on and off the screen. Known for his smoldering looks and magnetic charisma, Brando had a romantic life as tempestuous as his legendary acting career. He once confessed, "If there's someone I admire, I'll just ask them to sleep with me. If they say no, I figure I haven't lost anything." Brando's lovers included an impressive roster of co-stars, socialites, and even royalty. He had a steamy affair with Marilyn Monroe and a rumored fling with James Dean, cementing his reputation as Hollywood's ultimate bisexual heartthrob. His charm was so potent that women and men were often left breathless in his presence. One of Brando's most passionate relationships was with actress Rita Moreno. Their on-again, off-again romance was filled with drama, including infidelity and jealousy. Moreno once revealed she attempted suicide after finding Brando had fathered a child with another woman. Despite the heartbreak, she described him as the love of her life. Brando's physical exploits weren't confined to the film industry. He was said to have had trysts with everyone from Tahitian locals during the filming of Mutiny on the Bounty to Jacqueline Kennedy's sister, Lee Radziwill. For Brando, relationships were an extension of his restless spirit. He lived life passionately, always seeking connection and adventure. His love life, like his career, was larger than life, leaving behind a legacy as complex as the man himself. Daisy and Violet Hilton. Did you know conjoined twins, Daisy and Violet Hilton, not only captivated audiences with their vaudeville performances, but also lived remarkably adventurous, romantic lives? Born joined at the lower back and spine, the twins turned their physical condition into a career, starring in films like Freaks and Chained for Life. However, their love lives were just as compelling as their careers. The Hilton twins were no strangers to scandal. Daisy was involved in an affair with a married man, which led to a divorce case where she was named. This wasn't their only brush with controversy. Both sisters were rumored to have taken multiple lovers. Daisy even attempted to marry musician Jack Lewis, but legal challenges prevented the union, as marrying conjoined twins was considered bigamy in the 1930s. Despite their unique circumstances, the twins lived vibrant social lives, frequenting parties and pursuing relationships. Harry Houdini once taught them to mentally tune out each other's conversations, giving them some semblance of privacy. Their later years were marked by hardship, but their daring approach to love and life remains unforgettable. Ingrid Bergman. Did you know Ingrid Bergman once caused an international scandal that nearly derailed her career? The legendary Casablanca actress was not only a screen icon, but also a passionate romantic. While married to Swedish doctor Petter Lindström, Bergman fell for Italian filmmaker Roberto Rossellini while working on Stromboli. Their affair was so publicized that Bergman was denounced on the floor of the U.S. Senate as an instrument of evil. The affair led to her divorce and a tumultuous marriage to Rossellini. The couple had 3 children, including actress Isabella Rossellini, but their relationship was far from idyllic. Rossellini's infidelity and controlling nature eventually led to their separation. Bergman's personal life continued to be filled with passionate but complicated romances, including relationships with photographer Robert Capa and Swedish playwright Lars Schmidt. Despite the public backlash, Bergman never apologized for following her heart. She once said, "I've gone from saint to whore and back to saint again, all in one lifetime." Her determination to live authentically cemented her status as a trailblazing actress and woman. Vivien Leigh. Vivien Leigh, best remembered as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, was as dramatic in her personal life as she was on screen. Did you know she once boldly declared, "That's the man I'm going to marry," upon seeing Laurence Olivier perform on stage? At the time, Leigh was married and Olivier's wife was pregnant, but that didn't stop her. Their love affair began with a scandalous rendezvous in Capri and led to marriages broken on both sides. Leigh and Olivier's relationship was filled with passion and volatility. Both were fiercely ambitious and often competitive, which led to fiery arguments. Leigh's battle with bipolar disorder and tuberculosis strained their marriage, and Olivier later confessed that their intense connection eventually burned out. Despite their tumultuous love life, Leigh was rumored to have had other lovers, including co-stars and intellectuals. Even as her health and career declined, Leigh's charm and beauty continued to captivate. Her personal struggles only added to the allure of her legend, cementing her as one of Hollywood's most tragic yet fascinating figures. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy was the epitome of old Hollywood charm, but did you know his personal life was marked by a deeply private yet enduring affair with Katharine Hepburn? Tracy, a devout Catholic, remained married to his wife Louise Treadwell, despite their estrangement. He and Hepburn began a relationship in 1941 that lasted 26 years, though they never lived together or openly acknowledged their romance. Tracy was a man of contradictions. While deeply religious, he was rumored to have had multiple affairs before meeting Hepburn. His alcoholism and self-doubt often cast a shadow over his personal and professional life. Yet Hepburn stood by him, even nursing him during his declining health. She later said, "I could never have left him. He needed me." Tracy's love for Hepburn was undeniable, and their on-screen chemistry in films like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner mirrored their off-screen connection. Though their relationship remained shrouded in secrecy during his lifetime, it is now celebrated as one of Hollywood's great love stories. Bette Davis. Bette Davis wasn't just a powerhouse actress. She was a tempestuous lover whose personal life was as fiery as her iconic performances. Known for her roles in All About Eve and Jezebel, Davis had a reputation for intensity both on and off the screen. Married 4 times, Davis's relationships were often turbulent. Her second husband, Arthur Farnsworth, died tragically after a short but happy marriage. Her third husband, artist William Grant Sherry, accused her of neglecting him for her career, leading to their divorce. But it was her fourth marriage to actor Gary Merrill that truly made headlines. Their union was fiery and volatile, mirroring the relationship dynamics of their characters in All About Eve. Davis was also rumored to have had romantic entanglements with directors and co-stars, including Howard Hughes and William Wyler. She once said, "Love is fire, but whether it is going to warm your hearth or burn down your house, you can never tell." Bette Davis's relationships may have been chaotic, but they added another layer to her larger-than-life persona. She lived with the same unapologetic intensity that made her a legend, embracing love and heartbreak with equal fervor. Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes wasn't just a Hollywood playboy. He was obsessed with physical relationships and pursued it with the same relentless drive he applied to aviation and filmmaking. Hughes had a voracious physical appetite, reportedly juggling multiple lovers at once, and was known for his meticulous auditions with aspiring starlets. He often hosted private screenings where beautiful women were invited, with many claiming these events doubled as casting calls for his personal pleasure. His long-term relationships, including those with Katharine Hepburn and Ava Gardner, were often overshadowed by his insatiable lust. Ava Gardner once said that Hughes was controlling in their relationship but intensely passionate in bed. His obsession with intimacy didn't stop at high-profile affairs. He also sought the company of prostitutes and younger women, allegedly spending millions on discreet rendezvous. Hughes's insatiable libido was an integral part of his larger-than-life persona, leaving behind a trail of lovers who alternately adored and feared him. Clark Gable. Clark Gable's nickname, the King of Hollywood, wasn't just about his acting. It extended to his exploits in the bedroom. Gable was renowned for his love of intimation, often engaging in affairs with his co-stars during filming. He once admitted that he found the allure of women irresistible, and his charm made it easy for him to seduce nearly anyone he desired. His legendary affair with Joan Crawford is a prime example of his physical magnetism. The pair reportedly couldn't keep their hands off each other on set, and their chemistry was so palpable that MGM executives intervened to avoid scandal. Gable's fling with Loretta Young resulted in a secret love child, further highlighting his recklessness when it came to relationships. Even in his later years, Gable's love for intimation remained unabated. His charm and rugged masculinity made him an enduring figure of desire in Hollywood, both for his co-stars and his many off-screen conquests. Marlene Dietrich. Marlene Dietrich's love for getting physical was as unapologetic as the rest of her life. Known for her adventurous spirit, Dietrich often spoke candidly about her special escapades, describing physical experiences as one of life's greatest pleasures. Her relationships with both men and women were driven by deep passion, and she was known to seduce her lovers with her signature blend of charm and mystery. Her affair with Gary Cooper was fueled by intense physical chemistry that neither could resist, while her relationships with women like Edith Piaf and Mercedes de Acosta revealed her uninhibited approach to connectivity. Dietrich once joked that she loved women because they were better lovers and listeners than men. Dietrich's free-spirited attitude extended to her performances, where she often used her charm to captivate audiences. She was proud of going both ways. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford's love for getting physical was no secret, and she wielded it as both a weapon and a tool to climb Hollywood's ranks. Known for her stunning looks and magnetic allure, Crawford had countless affairs, many of which were motivated by her desire for power, passion, or both. Crawford reportedly enjoyed affairs with Clark Gable. Her bold approach to relationships made her a controversial figure in her time. She was rumored to have a voracious appetite and was unafraid to indulge in casual flings, including rumored dalliances with studio executives and directors who could further her career. Joan's passion for getting touch and connection was mirrored in her dramatic on-screen performances, where her intensity often blurred the line between fiction and reality. Her ability to navigate the cutthroat world of Hollywood using her appearance as a tool cemented her as one of its most enduring icons. Jack Nicholson. Known for his devilish grin and unshakable confidence, Nicholson once quipped that getting physical was his favorite pastime, and he certainly lived up to that reputation. Nicholson's insatiable libido was well documented, with reports of him bedding thousands of women throughout his career. He was notorious for his wild parties at his Mulholland Drive home, where his charm and charisma often led to spontaneous sexual encounters. His long-term relationship with Anjelica Huston was marked by infidelity, as Nicholson repeatedly pursued other women, even fathering a child during their time together. Nicholson's reputation extended beyond his personal life. Co-stars often remarked on his flirtatious nature, with many admitting to being drawn to his raw, physical energy. Despite his bad boy persona, Nicholson maintained a magnetic appeal that made him one of Hollywood's most enduring symbols of unbridled lust and passion. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor's love life was a whirlwind of passion, scandal, and unapologetic romance. The actress, known for her stunning beauty and iconic roles, was famously married 8 times to 7 different men and had countless rumored affairs in between. Taylor herself admitted she loved deeply and often, making her personal life as dramatic as her on-screen performances. Her affair with Eddie Fisher, who was married to her best friend Debbie Reynolds, caused a media firestorm. Taylor and Fisher eventually married, but their union ended when she fell for Richard Burton on the set of Cleopatra. Taylor and Burton's relationship became the stuff of legend, marked by public fights, grand reconciliations, and an unbridled intimate chemistry that captivated the world. Taylor's insatiable appetite for love and getting on bed extended beyond her marriages. She was rumored to have had affairs with actors like Montgomery Clift and even John F. Kennedy. Taylor once said, "I have a woman's body and a child's emotions," a statement that encapsulated her passionate, tumultuous love life. Her ability to embrace her desires without apology made her one of Hollywood's most unforgettable icons. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe was not just a symbol of beauty, but also a symbol of desire. Her love of getting laid and romance was as much a part of her mystique as her platinum blonde hair and breathy voice. Monroe's relationships often made headlines, ranging from her marriages to Joe DiMaggio and Arthur Miller to her rumored affairs with President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert. Monroe's sensual allure was magnetic, drawing some of the most powerful men in the world. Her affair with JFK became one of the most infamous scandals of the 20th century, with whispers of late-night rendezvous and her sultry rendition of "Happy Birthday, Mr. President," fueling speculation. Monroe also had a complicated relationship with DiMaggio, whose jealousy over her physical appeal ultimately led to the demise of their marriage. Despite her public persona as a sex symbol, Monroe often sought deeper emotional connections, though her insatiable need for love and intimacy sometimes left her feeling unfulfilled. Her tragic death at just 36 years old only added to the mystique of her life, leaving behind a legacy of beauty, talent, and unbridled sensuality. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's comedic genius masked a personal life filled with controversy and an insatiable love of bed. Known for his iconic silent films, Chaplin was equally infamous for his relationships with much younger women. He married 4 times, each time to a woman significantly younger than him, including 2 16-year-olds. Chaplin's penchant for pursuing actresses during auditions became notorious. He reportedly used his power to lure aspiring starlets, often engaging in inappropriate behavior. His third wife, Paulette Goddard, was one of the few women in his life who matched him with wit and charm, though their marriage ended in divorce. His affair with Lita Gray resulted in a highly publicized scandal when she became pregnant, forcing the two to marry to avoid legal trouble. Chaplin's appetite for getting laid and his unconventional relationships often put him at odds with public morality, leading to legal battles and periods of exile. Despite his personal controversies, Chaplin's magnetic charisma and genius left an indelible mark on both Hollywood and the women he loved. Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson's love life was shrouded in secrecy, owing to the societal constraints of his time. As one of Hollywood's most handsome and sought-after leading men, Hudson had to maintain the illusion of hetero to preserve his career. Privately, however, he had numerous relationships with men, reportedly numbering 15 or more. One of his most enduring relationships was with his personal secretary, Mark Christian, who remained a loyal companion despite Hudson's struggles with secrecy. Hudson also engaged in brief flings with other closeted Hollywood figures, often through discreet social circles. Friends described him as a man of great charm, whose love of romance was always tempered by the need for discretion. Hudson's tragic battle with AIDS and his eventual death in 1985 brought his hidden life into public view, sparking a broader conversation about gender fluidity in Hollywood. Despite the secrecy, Hudson's private relationships showcased a man who craved love and connection, even as he navigated the constraints of his era. Clara Bow. Clara Bow, the original it girl of silent cinema, was as famous for her love life as she was for her captivating screen presence. With an estimated 15 or more lovers, Bow's romantic escapades were the stuff of Hollywood legend, fueled by her free-spirited nature and desire for excitement. One of her most infamous affairs was with Gary Cooper, whose good looks and charm made him irresistible to Bow. The pair's on-set chemistry quickly translated into a passionate, albeit brief romance. Bow was also rumored to have relationships with directors like Victor Fleming and actors like Gilbert Roland, adding to her reputation as a Hollywood wildchild. Bow's sexuality was often sensationalized by the press, with one infamous and likely untrue rumor claiming she had slept with the entire USC football team. Despite such scandals, Bow's liberated approach to lovemaking was ahead of her time, making her one of the most intriguing figures of early Hollywood. Ava Gardner. Ava Gardner's beauty and passion were matched only by her tumultuous love life. With an estimated 15 or more relationships, Gardner's romantic history included some of the most iconic men of her era, each relationship marked by intensity and drama. Her first marriage to Mickey Rooney ended after just a year due to his infidelities, but Gardner admitted later that she'd married him for fun, not love. Her second husband, Artie Shaw, was controlling and critical, leading to another short-lived marriage. It was her third marriage to Frank Sinatra, however, that defined her romantic legacy. Their union was fiery, filled with public arguments, passionate reconciliations, and a mutual inability to let each other go. Beyond her marriage, Gardner was rumored to have had flings with Howard Hughes, Ernest Hemingway, and bullfighters like Luis Miguel Dominguín. She once said, "Sex isn't all that important, but it's a lot of fun," a statement that perfectly encapsulated her adventurous and unapologetic attitude toward love and intimacy. Lana Turner. Lana Turner's beauty and charisma made her one of Hollywood's most desirable actresses, and her love life reflected that allure. With an estimated 15 or more lovers, Turner's romantic history included numerous marriages, scandalous affairs, and a tragic entanglement with mobster Johnny Stompanato. Stompanato was one of Turner's most infamous relationships. Their tumultuous romance was marked by physical abuse and public fights, culminating in tragedy when Turner's teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane, fatally stabbed Stompanato to protect her mother. The incident became a media sensation, adding a layer of infamy to Turner's already dramatic love life. Turner's 8 marriages were equally eventful, with husbands ranging from bandleaders like Artie Shaw to businessmen like Henry J. Topping Jr. Despite her turbulent relationships, Turner never gave up on the idea of love, often diving headfirst into new romances with a passion that mirrored her iconic performances. Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra's love life was a symphony of romance, drama, and unapologetic passion. With an estimated 15 or more lovers, Sinatra's relationships spanned Hollywood royalty, socialites, and even political figures. His first marriage to Nancy Barbato ended due to his numerous affairs, including a highly publicized relationship with Ava Gardner. Sinatra and Gardner's marriage was a tempestuous affair filled with arguments and reconciliations. Even after their divorce, they remained deeply connected, with Sinatra often referring to Gardner as the love of his life. Sinatra's romantic conquest didn't stop there. He was rumored to have had affairs with Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland, and even Jackie Kennedy. Despite his reputation as a ladies' man, Sinatra's relationships were often driven by genuine emotion. His final marriage to Barbara Marx provided stability in his later years, but his earlier romantic escapades solidified his legacy as one of Hollywood's most charismatic and adventurous stars.